The rain hammered against the windshield like accusations I couldn't escape, each drop a reminder of the hours I'd spent at my mother's bedside, watching her chest rise and fall in shallow, ragged breaths. She was dying. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer had seen to that, and I'd promised her I'd be there until the end. But tonight, something pulled me home early, a nagging unease in my gut that wouldn't let go. Maybe it was the cryptic text from my daughter Emily. "Dad, come home soon. Something's wrong." Or perhaps it was the way my wife Laura had sounded on the phone earlier. Her voice clipped and distant, as if she were hiding behind a wall of forced normalcy. I pulled into the driveway of our suburban colonial, the house dark except for a faint glow from the kitchen window. The garage door groaned open, and I stepped inside, shaking off the water from my coat. The air smelled wrong, stale, with a metallic tang that made my stomach twist. "Laura! Emily!" My voice echoed through the empty hall. No answer. Then a muffled thump from below, like something or someone banging against wood. Heart pounding, I descended the basement stairs, the wooden steps creaking under my weight. The door at the bottom was locked from the outside, a heavy bolt I hadn't noticed before. From behind it came a desperate, hoarse whisper. "Help! Please, God, help me! Laura!" I fumbled with the bolt, my fingers slick with rain and sweat. It slid back with a harsh scrape, and the door swung open. My wife tumbled out, collapsing into my arms, her face a mask of bruises and tear-streaked mascara. Her blouse was torn at the shoulder, and her wrists bore red welts from what looked like ropes. She clutched at me, sobbing, her body trembling like a leaf in a storm. "Oh, David, thank God," she gasped, her breath hot against my neck. She locked me in. Emily. Our daughter had left. But before she did this. I held her at arm's length, my mind reeling. What? Emily did this. What the hell happened? Laura's eyes darted away, then back, filled with a fear I'd never seen before. She found out. About us. No, about me. David, I swear it was a mistake. Just once. Please, you have to believe me. The words hit like a freight train, shattering the fragile peace I'd clung to during my mother's final days. Betrayal. It wasn't just a word. It was a blade twisting in my chest, hot and unrelenting. I staggered back, the basement's damp chill seeping into my bones. The room behind her was a chaos of overturned boxes and scattered tools, a hammer lying ominously on the concrete floor. Emily had left. Where? Why? As Laura babbled explanations, something about a coworker, a moment of weakness, how it meant nothing. Rage bubbled up from deep within me. But it wasn't just anger. It was a cocktail of humiliation, the kind that makes a man question every tender moment, every "I love you" whispered in the dark. How long had this been going on? While I was at the hospital, holding my mother's frail hand, had Laura been in our bed with him? I guided her upstairs to the kitchen, her steps unsteady, and sat her down at the table. The fluorescent light buzzed overhead, casting harsh shadows on her swollen cheek. "Tell me everything," I said, my voice low, barely containing the storm inside. "From the beginning." She hesitated, wringing her hands. "It started a few months ago. Mark from the office. He was kind when things were tough with your mom. One night after drinks. It just happened. Emily must have overheard us on the phone. She confronted me this afternoon, screaming, calling me a whore. I tried to calm her, but she snapped, grabbed the hammer, backed me into the basement, said she was going to make me pay for ruining our family. Then she tied me up, locked the door and left. Took my phone, your car keys. David, she's unhinged. We need to call the police. Unhinged. The word echoed in my head as I poured her a glass of water, my hands shaking. Emily, my sweet girl, only 17, with her mother's eyes and my stubborn streak. She'd always been the glue holding us together, especially these last months. But now, locking her mother away like some prisoner, didn't add up. Or did it? Deep down, a part of me understood, the raw fury of betrayal. I'd felt glimmers of it myself in quiet moments at the hospital, wondering why Laura's visits grew shorter, her excuses flimsier. I glanced at the counter, where a note lay crumpled. Emily's handwriting. Dad, Mom's a liar. I couldn't let her hurt you anymore. Sorry. I'll be back when it's done. When what's done? My heart clenched. Revenge. She was pursuing it on my behalf, or perhaps her own. The thought sent a chill down my spine, pride mixed with terror. What if she confronted this Mark? What if things went wrong? Laura, who is he? Mark what? I demanded, my tone sharper than intended. Mark Thompson. He lives across town. But David, don't. I was already grabbing my coat. Stay here. Lock the doors. I'm finding Emily. As I drove through the rain-slicked streets, the wipers slashing back and forth like accusations, my mind raced. Denial gripped me first. This couldn't be real. Laura wouldn't cheat. Not after 20 years. Not with a daughter we both adored. But the evidence was there. The bruises, the note, the hollow look in her eyes. Heartbreak followed, a deep, aching void that made my chest hurt. How had I missed the signs? The late nights at work, the new perfume, the way she'd pull away when I reached for her. Then came the resentment, building like a slow fire. She'd betrayed not just me, but our family. While my mother lay dying, Laura had sought comfort in another man's arms. Obsession crept in. Fantasies of confronting Mark, of making him feel the pain I'd endured. Punching him until my knuckles bled. Or something subtler, more devastating. But doubt nagged. Was I capable of that? I'd always been the steady one, the provider, not the avenger. I pulled up to Mark's address, a modest ranch house with a neatly trimmed lawn. Lights were on inside, shadows moving behind the curtains. My pulse thundered in my ears as I approached the door, rain soaking through my shirt. Knocking felt futile, I pounded instead. The door opened, and there he was. Mid-40s, handsome in a generic way, with a confused frown. Can I help you? Where's my daughter? I growled, stepping forward. His eyes widened. Whoa, buddy. I don't know what. Emily. She's 17. If you've touched her. No. No. She was here earlier, ranting about Laura. I told her to leave. She's crazy, man. Crazy. The word ignited something primal in me. You slept with my wife. While my mother's dying. You destroyed my family. He backed up, hands raised. It was a mistake. Laura ended it weeks ago. Please, let's talk. But Emily wasn't there. I turned away, fury boiling over into cold resolve. Back in the car I checked my phone, no messages. Where had she gone? The hospital. A friend's. As I drove aimlessly, the city's neon lights blurring through the rain, guilt washed over me. I'd been absent, buried in grief for my mother. Maybe that's why Laura strayed. But no, that was her choice, her betrayal. Hours later I returned home, exhausted and empty-handed. Laura was asleep on the couch, a blanket pulled tight around her. I watched her for a moment, resentment festering. Part of me wanted to shake her awake, demand more answers. Another part fantasized about locking her back in that basement, letting her rot in her guilt. But I resisted, slipping upstairs to our bedroom. The sheets still smelled like her perfume, and faintly like him. Sleep evaded me. Instead I lay there planning. Subtle hints at first. I'd dig into their affair, find proof, emails, texts. Then expose it. Ruin Mark's career, maybe Laura's too. Make them pay without dirtying my hands. But doubt crept in. What about Emily? If she was out there, seeking her own justice, could I stop her? Did I want to? The next morning the house felt oppressive, the silence thick with unspoken accusations. Laura brewed coffee, her movements tentative like she was walking on eggshells. Any sign of her? She asked, voice small. I shook my head, stirring sugar into my mug with unnecessary force. The clink of the spoon against porcelain echoed like a ticking clock. We need to report her missing. She nodded, but her eyes avoided mine. David. Sorry. Truly. It was stupid. I love you. Love. The word tasted like ash. Do you? Or was that just convenient until Mark came along? She flinched, tears welling. Please don't. We can fix this. Therapy, whatever it takes. I wanted to believe her, but the humiliation burned too hot. As we drove to the police station, the rain had stopped, leaving puddles that reflected the gray sky like shattered mirrors. Inside, the officer took our statement, his pen scratching across the form. Teenage girl, run away after a family fight. We'll look into it. Family fight. It sounded so mundane, so far from the vortex of emotions swirling inside me. Back home, I retreated to my study, poring over Laura's laptop. Password unchanged, a sign of her arrogance or guilt. Emails confirmed it. Flirty messages, plans for secret meetings. Each one fueled my obsession. Copied them, saved them. Evidence for what? Divorce. Blackmail. Revenge was taking shape, slow and deliberate. That afternoon, a call from the hospital. My mother had taken a turn. I rushed there, leaving Laura with instructions to stay put. In the sterile room, beeps and whispers filled the air. Mom looked smaller, frilier. David, she murmured, her hand cold in mine. Family. Hold on to it. Her words pierced me. Hold on. To what? A shattered marriage. But as I sat there, resentment gave way to moral conflict. Revenge might destroy us all. Yet, the thought of letting them off scot-free gnawed at me. Returning home that evening, the house was quiet again. Too quiet. Laura. No answer. Then a note on the table. Gone to find Emily. Don't worry. Worry. It was all I could do. Panic surged. Where? How? I called her phone, straight to voicemail. Mark's number, pulled from the emails, rang endlessly. The basement door loomed in my mind, a symbol of confinement and rage. Emily had started this. Now it was spreading. As night fell, I paced the living room, the carpet muffling my footsteps. Fantasies evolved. Not just exposure but something more. Plant evidence of embezzlement at Mark's job. Or confront him again, this time with the hammer from the basement. Fear tempered it. What if I got caught? What about my mother needing me? A knock at the door jolted me. Police. Emily. I opened it to find Mark, disheveled, a bruise blooming on his jaw. Your daughter came back. She attacked me. With a bat or something. Said it was for you. Where is she now? I demanded, grabbing his collar. She ran off. But Laura showed up, took her away. They're together. Man, you need to control your family. Control. The irony stung. As he left, humiliation crested anew. My wife and daughter united against me. No, against him. But the seed of doubt grew. Was Laura protecting her secret, manipulating Emily? I sank into the chair, head in hands. Heartbreak morphed into cold resolve. Tomorrow I'd act. Subtle at first. Calls to Mark's boss, anonymous tips. Build the tension, let them squirm. But deep down, guilt whispered. This path would change me forever. The dawn light filtered through the blinds like thin blades, slicing across the kitchen table where I sat, nursing black coffee that tasted like regret. Sleep had been a fleeting visitor, chased away by visions of Laura and Emily out there, perhaps plotting, perhaps in danger. Mark's visit last night had ignited a new fire. Not just revenge on him, but on Laura for her deceit, for dragging our daughter into this mess. Obsession gripped me tighter, my mind a whirlwind of plans. Detailed, calculated, designed to dismantle their lives without leaving fingerprints. I started small. A quick search on my phone revealed Mark's LinkedIn. Sales manager at a mid-tier tech firm. Anonymous email from a burner account. Check Thompson's expense reports. Embezzlement suspected. Attached were fabricated screenshots, pieced together from public templates. Was easy, too easy. The thrill of it surprised me. A rush of power amid the humiliation. But doubt lingered. Was this justice or descent into madness? My mother's nurse called mid-morning. She's asking for you. Not much time. The words hit like a gut punch, layering guilt atop the resentment. I drove to the hospital, the city's traffic a blur of honks and exhaust. In her room, the monitors beeped a somber rhythm, her eyes fluttering open at my approach. "David. What's wrong? You look haunted." I forced a smile, squeezing her hand. "Just tired, Mom. Family stuff." She sighed, weak but wise. "Forgive, son. Anger eats you alive." Forgive. The idea churned in my stomach. How could I, when betrayal had poisoned everything? Leaving her side, I felt the moral conflict deepen. Revenge versus mercy, fury versus family. Back home, the house was still empty, the silence oppressive. I descended to the basement, the air thick with dust and memories. The hammer still lay there, its head flecked with rust, or was that blood? Emily's doing. The thought sent a shiver through me. Picking it up, I tested its weight, fantasies flashing. Smashing Mark's car or worse. Whoa. Too direct. Slow burn was better. Let them unravel from the inside. Laura's car pulled in an hour later. She entered alone, her face pale, eyes red-rimmed. "Emily's safe. At a friend's. She needs space." "Space," I echoed, voice laced with suppressed rage. "She attacked a man. Locked you up. And you just let her go." She sank into a chair, burying her face in her hands. "She's hurt, David. 'Cause of me." I explained everything, how it was over, how sorry I am. "She forgives me, but you. She thinks you're blind to it all." Blind. The word fueled my anger. "Forgives you. To what you did. While I was with Mom, you were." "Stop," she cried, standing abruptly. "Yes, I cheated. Was wrong. But you're not innocent. Always at work or the hospital, leaving me alone." I felt invisible. Her words stung, a mix of truth and deflection. Heartbreak surged anew. Had I driven her away? But no, betrayal was her choice. "That's your excuse. Loneliness." We argued then, voices rising, words like weapons. "You humiliated me. Shouted. Destroyed us. And you're destroying yourself with this hate," she shot back, tears flowing. The tension crackled, suspense building as I fought the urge to reveal my plans. She stormed upstairs, slamming the door. Alone, I plotted further. A call to Laura's boss. Anonymous tip. Check her emails for misconduct. Subtle hints of the affair. Enough to tarnish her reputation. Obsession consumed me. I barely ate, pacing the house, senses heightened. The creak of floorboards, the distant hum of traffic, all amplified by paranoia. Emily returned that evening, slipping in quietly. She looked smaller, defiant yet broken, her hoodie pulled low. "Dad," she said, voice trembling. "I'm sorry for locking Mom. But she deserved it. For hurting you." I pulled her into a hug, relief warring with confusion. "Why attack Mark? You could have been hurt." Her eyes hardened. He laughed when I confronted him. Said Mom came to him. I lost it. Laugh. The image ignited fresh fury. But seeing Emily's vulnerability, guilt flooded me. Revenge was poisoning her too. "Let me handle it, kiddo. Stay out." She nodded, but her gaze held secrets. Dinner was tense, dialogue sparse. "Pass the salt. How's Grandma?" Surface words masking the undercurrents of resentment and fear. That night, as rain resumed its assault on the roof, I lay awake, inner thoughts tumbling. Doubt crept in. Was revenge worth it? Moral conflict raged. Poetic justice or self-destruction. But the humiliation won out. Escalate. The next day, news broke. Mark's firm investigated him for fraud. My doing. Perhaps. He called, frantic. "You did this, didn't you? I'll sue." "Prove it," I replied coolly, hanging up. The power felt intoxicating but hollow. Laura confronted me later, eyes blazing. "Mark's in trouble." "You wouldn't." I feigned innocence. "Karma, maybe." Suspicion flickered in her gaze, heightening the suspense. She withdrew, our interactions laced with manipulation. Her pleading for forgiveness, me harboring secrets. Emily confided in me that afternoon, whispering in the basement. I have proof, Dad. Videos from Mom's phone. She showed me. Grainy clips of Laura and Mark, intimate, laughing. Heartbreak peaked, tears stinging my eyes. Delete them, I said, but copied them first. More ammunition. As days blurred, my mother's condition worsened. I spent hours at her bedside. Her labored breaths a counterpoint to my turmoil. Let go of the anger, she whispered one last time. She passed that night peacefully, leaving me adrift in grief. The funeral was a blur. Sympathetic hugs murmured condolences. Laura stood by me, playing the dutiful wife, but resentment simmered. Emily clung to my side. Her presence a reminder of the family's fracture. Post-funeral, the house felt like a tomb. I confronted Laura in the living room, the air thick with unspoken rage. It's over. Divorce. He gasped. David, no. We can rebuild. Rebuild on lies. I showed her the emails. I know everything. Her face crumpled. How? Doesn't matter. You'll pay. Fear flashed in her eyes. What have you done? The suspense peaked as I revealed bits. The tips, the unraveling. She begged. Please, for Emily. But Emily entered then, hammer in hand. The same from the basement. He doesn't have to. I will. Time slowed. Emily swung not at Laura but at me. No, past me, shattering a vase. Stop this. Both of you. Revenge is killing us. Her words halted me. Shock. My daughter, the avenger, now the voice of reason. But the twist came swift. Laura lunged, grabbing the hammer. You think you can ruin me? In her eyes, madness. Betrayal turned to desperation. She swung at Emily. I intercepted, the blow glancing my arm, pain exploding. We grappled, the room a whirlwind of shouts and crashes. Emily screamed, dialing 911. In the chaos, Laura slipped, head striking the table's edge with a sickening thud. She went still, blood pooling. Horror gripped me. Not my plan, this accidental end. Police arrived, statements taken. Self-defense they ruled, but the guilt was mine. Emily and I sat in the aftermath, the house echoing with loss. It was her or us, she said, but her voice broke. Revenge's payoff, poetic justice, or unexpected consequences. Mark fled town, career in ruins. Laura gone. But the victory tasted like ashes, moral grayness enveloping me. Years later, with Emily grown, I visit graves. Mom's, Laura's. The obsession faded, leaving scars. Betrayal birthed revenge, but revenge birthed only emptiness.